This is the 100th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the last week of July 2012. This episode titled Centennial Celebration. CloudFocus Week is sponsored by Arkus, your cloud computing experts. And I'm your host, Jason Atwood. Joining me today, for the 100th time only, co-host Justin Edelstein. Justin, how are you doing?
Only?
Only 100 times.
As if to say this isn't quite the accomplishment.
Did I mention that there are also two other audience members today?
You haven't. The partner who shall remain nameless and the young one are in the building.
Is he the young one?
Yeah, I think we've mentioned him as the young one.
Probably. As a blogger. He's a blogger.
He's there. If people are smart, they figure out who these people are.
That's kind of fun. It's a little game. Well, we have a big agenda, but yet a very simple agenda. The celebration of our 100th episode ever. Almost 2 years to the date when we started this podcast.
It's real close. I have the Google Sheet open in front of me as to when our first ever... Oh, this is now in reverse order. Okay. When our first ever podcast was. I guess it was in July 14th.
Yes.
Of 2010.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So, what we're going to do today, we're going to actually announce a few fun new things for the podcast. First up is we have a new logo for the podcast. Yes, so you'll notice that you don't have to actually talk about it because you'll notice it should be showing up in your reader du jour if you're in Instacast or iTunes. So you should see our new logo. It is a picture of you and I. I'm
the good-looking one.
On the iconized version. I'm the one that my eyebrows are black, although they're not black in real life.
I'm the one with the hair.
That's true. You are the one. You have a lot of hair in this picture. It's taken from a time when you had a lot of hair.
It's a very hairy picture.
Yes. So we're kind of doing a little bit more of that. That'll be kind of fun. We are also doing... We're having the guests, obviously, just for this time. I'm not going to do that normally.
Well, we'd never do this
again. We'd never do that again.
After the debacle that occurred just before we came on the air.
For the second episode in a row, we are trying the two-mic system.
Yep.
So we're actually doing two mics to pick up our voices to hopefully up the quality and amplitude of what you hear.
Have you gotten any feedback on the two mics?
No.
I have not either.
So
I've asked for feedback.
Oh.
But I have not received any.
We'll see if they like it or not. And then the last thing we are doing is we are starting a new chatter group in the Dreamforce portal.
Yeah, for all those who are going to Dreamforce and listen to this podcast.
Well, it's also something to go year-round. Since now the Dreamforce portal is a year-round place, we're going to keep that open as a year-round podcasting, as a CloudFocus Weekly podcast group.
Yet another Arkus group.
Yes, another Arkus group. We own many. But for our 100th episode, we're going to do what we're calling it doesn't actually add up to 100, but whatever. We're doing our top 5 picks each, and then 5 new picks. We're doing an all picks episode.
Top 5 historical picks.
That's correct.
That we've picked ourselves.
That's right.
Like, I would pick ones that you've picked, but you've disallowed. You've said, no, you cannot.
Because I went through the list, and all of your picks stink.
Yours,
basically. I picked the best picks ever.
You picked, like, FaceTime. Like Twitter.
I have the top 5 worst picks of mine, too. We'll do that as a little side. I have that.
I was going through them, too, now that we have them nicely organized.
Yes.
And you didn't pick all great picks.
But
Mr. Pickmaster.
Yeah. Most of the picks that I picked, though, at least that there's something that someone uses, as opposed to, I just got this App Exchange newsletter today, and...
Well, how are people supposed to know about the App Exchange newsletter?
And I've never used this app ever in my life,
I give a full disclaimer every time when I've never used the app.
It's called Blah.
Well, anyway, my picks for this show, that I went back and looked at my top picks.
I love this to the audience, by the way.
The peanut gallery. I think my picks are pretty great.
All right.
You know what? We'll have people, do a little tally or a poll. Can we put a poll on the website?
So interesting. We're not going to get into that, but there's a little bit in the Dreamforce portal. They slipped a few new upcoming chatter features, and one of them is polls.
Like it's in there?
It's coming up. No, it's coming. Yeah.
I didn't think it was
So Greg Johnson, he posted it to the chatter group that there's a couple things coming, and one of them was chatter polls.
Yeah.
Which is something
Can we just put a poll on our website?
Oh, on the website.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like for this particular listing of this podcast, I love giving you work while we're sitting
no,
on the podcast.
I'm not going to do that.
It's my favorite thing.
When
to do.
Chatter Polls comes out, thanks, Greg, we will put it there.
All right.
So we're going to do
this puppy off right.
We're going to do our top 10, and then we're going to do a top 5. So 5 each from 5 worst down, or from 5 best down to number 1. Your number 1 pick being the best. I wanted to give off my 5 worst. So
that'd be good. Give it to me.
So
you didn't prepare me for this.
Yeah, I know. This is what I do to you.
I write this blog post.
Oh, we didn't even mention
the behind the scenes look at how we actually do this thing we call CloudFocus Weekly. I say how we come up with the agenda.
That's true.
Which we're both staring at in a Google Doc. I can see you're here. There's one other viewer named Jason, and you just throw it right off the agenda right away. You just go right. You take a hard left.
That's right.
All right, so what are your worst?
So I was looking down the list.
Go through mine right now and pick out some worst ones. So you go and I'll pick.
You have a lot to pick from.
I'm sure I do.
Yeah. So 5 worst. Number 5, Evernote Peak.
Yeah, that one's pretty.
I picked it and then never used it. Never thought about it again. I was like, oh, I picked that.
Okay.
Hello Fax. Exactly.
You were trying to get me to use that one once.
Mobile Me, because it doesn't exist anymore.
I noticed you picked Mobile Me.
The second worst one was Winter 12 Features.
Yeah, that was a real.
No, Winter 11 Features.
I was like, yeah, really?
I picked features.
Good job.
For this episode, I'm going to pick the sun.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite thing is the sun. And then RDO for iPad, and the reason it's my worst is because I was like, I don't even know what that is. I think it's some sort of radio station thing, but I don't even remember. I picked it, and I don't even know what it does. Like, I don't have it anymore. I've never seen it ever again. So that was my worst.
I'm just looking through mine real quick, and I'm just going to pull a couple out.
Oh, so many to look at.
Private Messages by Force.com Labs. That was like built before they actually had private messages in Salesforce.
That's not too bad.
No, it's pretty bad because then they replaced it like 2 releases later. So that was not really very good of me. Let's see. There's a couple others here. There's some that I don't even know what they are, like Buff App. Don't know what that is. So
exactly.
That one probably goes in the bad pick selection. Since I actually never used that
Never again.
I picked the Salesforce.com nonprofit starter pack.
Yeah, that's horrible. Has anybody picked Salesforce? I want to pick Enterprise Edition as my pick of the week.
Do that. Here's one that I don't really use, and I picked Google Currents, kind of their try at getting into the Zeit/Flipboard domain. That didn't work
looking
out
over
so
many
well
of yours was so bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad ones.
Force.com logins.
What's bad with that?
What is it?
I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, some of these are just
horrible.
Really
it's
good. Like literally by somebody, and you don't know what those two things are. Companies that don't exist anymore.
So what?
Yeah. All right.
I'll pick one more that just comes to mind. Sketch, because it was just the circumstances of me buying it, picking it, not knowing that it had been purchased that day by Evernote.
That is pretty much my favorite episode ever. When I got you to go into, how much is it? And and you paid for it, you just bought it, and then you're like, yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, they
duped me.
It's free now, so thanks a lot. All right, so starting for your top 5, what's your top 5th pick ever? CloudFocus pick of the week
that I've ever picked.
That you've used, not mine.
All right, so here's the problem.
Oh my god! I have a list of 15 that are my top 15.
I could not pare down to 5.
No, you have to go to 5.
6.
All right, fine.
Can I go with 6?
You can go with 6. I'll go with 6. I have 15 sitting in front of me. I literally, it was Sophie's choice. I had to pick some.
So I'm going with 6, and I'm going to start with Dark Sky.
Okay.
Dark Sky
solid
is
pick.
A really great mobile app that visualizes radar for you. So lets you know.
I think you picked this like 3-4 weeks ago or something.
Not long ago, like 5 or 6
Maybe
weeks ago.
May,
because that. During the rain season, I picked it.
Yes.
Because it allows you to see if it's raining right now and if it's going to be raining within the next hour.
All right.
And it shows it on a radar.
I'm changing it up right now. Show of hands, who has on one of their devices Dark Sky and uses it? Wow, 100%.
100% usage rate.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Not happy with it.
Ooh.
Someone's not happy with it?
All right. I know we're not rat. It'll take us forever. Okay, Dark Sky.
All right, you go, Dark Sky.
Well, number 6, I'm going to throw in there. It actually wasn't. There's so many that weren't on my list Number 6 was actually Dropbox. Like, that's how good my list is. Like, number 6 is Dropbox.
Oh, that's how good
it is. There's just too many that were good.
When should I stop picking and just start bowing?
You could have started a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah. You like the audience.
I love the audience.
All right, show of hands. People are using Drop. I don't even need to ask. You're all using Dropbox.
I don't really use Dropbox.
Oh, that's just a shame.
I have it. I don't use it, though.
Right. Number 5.
Well,
get to your top 5.
Hold on. Okay, let's go to 5.
Yeah.
Wow, my list is so good. 5 is going to be tough. All right, I'm going to go with Watch ESPN.
Okay.
Watch ESPN is a great iPad app for watching live television on any of ESPN's live, like ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, whatever. But also they have other things that aren't broadcasted on television on ESPN3 that you can watch. And I really love being able to just lay in bed and not have a TV available to me, but have ESPN, because that's what I want to watch at night.
It's funny it's a turnaround on the iPad, too, because
I have totally turned around on the iPad.
You used to be the iPad. I don't need this device. I don't want this.
No, you're
and now
see my picks are like iPad.
And that was not too. That was like 4 weeks ago or something.
No.
That was a while ago.
Well, I could tell you when.
No,
I can look. But
so my number 5 is
actually, yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, my number 5. Actually, I have the episode numbers. My number 5 is the glue behind this podcast, which is Cashfly. Had to pick it. We picked it. It is literally. I could not leave it. I could not put it on the list because it's the thing that everybody uses to get this podcast. So Cashfly, the ability to basically take your data or your files and spread out over the internet, make them fast to download. So if you're listening to this, you're listening to it because it came through to Cashfly. So it had to be that was number 5, and I had to kick off even better ones than that to get to there.
All right.
4?
4 is Pandora.
Excellent pick.
Love Pandora. Use it all the time here in the office. Put Pandora on, I'm getting thumbs up from the audience. It's fantastic, fantastic. I use it mostly on my iPhone.
We have a Spotify user over here who's giving you the thumbs down.
That's okay.
And that's fine.
Whatever.
Pandora's a great
Pandora because my station that I've built up over the course of years, like 4 years, is just awesome. It knows me. So
it knows me.
Yeah. It knows me.
My number 4 is something I use. It's something that if I never think about it, and it just happens, I'm so happy, but whenever I have to think about it, I get angry. But it for the longest time, even though we've been using it for years, and we've had a couple issues here and again, I think you have more issues with it than I do, it just generally works. And it works every day, and I use it every 2 hours. Imperial calendar sync for Salesforce. The syncing your calendar from Salesforce to Google and back. Again, occasionally there's a thing about where I delete something. I think that's more of limitations on what can be deleted. But, I mean, every one of my appointments is synced back and forth across. In fact, all of us, so I know we're all using it. It's a great app. I wish they would extend it and make it better and a little bit more rich featured, but Imperial Calendar Sync, love it.
I use it. It's okay.
I don't know how I could survive without it. That's kind of where my picks came from, is like things I could not survive without. At this point, calendar, the Imperial Calendar Sync, I don't think I could survive without.
Yeah, I don't trust it as much as you do, so I'm more on top of it. Like, I go and sync things immediately and whatever.
Okay.
All right, moving right along.
Your number 3.
My number 3. I'm trying to decide.
So you have this list in front of you, 1 through 5. Yes.
Well, I don't know. Okay. I'm just looking at it in the list. I'm trying to decide because I've so far picked 2 entertainment apps, and a lot of my favorite apps are entertainment apps. But I'm trying to decide if I want to save that one because I've gone 2 in a row entertainment. All right, I'm gonna save it.
I'm glad for the 100th episode we get to see you think on the mic. Okay.
Well, that's what we're doing here.
All right.
We're sharing our
thoughts.
Go for it. I'm gonna pick Seamless. I love Seamless. I order food all the time, and when I order food with Seamless.
I'm Justin Elstein, and I'm 375 pounds.
I will not call a restaurant anymore. If you're not on Seamless, I'm not ordering from your restaurant.
It's a great pick because it's the pick that I always want to use, but I have never, ever ordered any. I always think, I want to order it, but I don't do it.
And their iPad app is fantastic. I used it just 2 days ago to order dinner on the iPad. Just click, 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 done. Yep. Ordered.
Seamless. That is a good one.
Very seamless.
Number 3, again, really my picks are really things I just absolutely could not live without. Number 3 is we talk about it all the time. We talk about clients all the time. It gets better and better.
Is it Salesforce.com?
Salesforce.com is not my number 3 pick.
Chatter.
It is Content Composer by
Oh,
App
that's a good
Exchange. It is. I just don't know how I could live without it at this point. I would. It changes the way we do business. It changes the way we do things or it changes for other businesses. We've been able to do stuff on it. People in this room have written blog posts about it. It is something I wish I came up with and built myself. It is so well done. Content Composer by App Exchange basically takes any data in Salesforce from many different reports from all sorts, and then can throw them into, basically merge them into PowerPoints, Excel, or Word docs, or automatically into PDFs. It can integrate with like e-signature things like EchoSign or DocuSign. It's limitless. And in fact, their new features are coming out. Are going to be able to build email templates right from Content Composer. So it's amazing thing.
All right, 2 more.
2? What's yours? 2.
HBO Go. Why are you laughing?
How many iPad apps have you picked in the last 2 months?
Well, where do I use apps mostly? On these devices. So I don't know why you're laughing. It's kind of just the way it is. So I love HBO Go because I love HBO shows. Like they're 3 of my top 5 ever television shows were HBO shows.
Let me guess. Wire.
The Wire is number 1.
Deadwood.
Deadwood's number 5.
You said 3?
Yeah.
Is it that show that I didn't like? The
No,
Trebuchet?
Sopranos.
Oh, Sopranos. Okay.
So, I literally just for the fun of it, just rewatched The Wire Season 3, and I'm in The Wire Season 4 in my spare time when I'm laying around. I'll just pop on an episode. And being able to go into HBO's vast library of content and watch it whenever you want is pretty awesome.
No, I will one up that pick when we get to our top 5, when I get to our new picks. So I will.
New picks is gonna one up that.
Well, it's a tie-in.
Are you gonna pick that silly app that pulls antenna waves from the universe that you have?
Yes, I am. No, I'm not going. All
That
right,
was a good pick.
My number 2.
You've been using that?
My number 2. You know what? I still subscribe to it, and I use it the other day, and it works great. It just there's no content on it I want to watch.
That's what I kept telling you.
I know. But I still have it.
Why do I need to pay for Channel
4? I don't think they've charged me for it. Because I've never seen a charge anywhere, so I'm happy. They say they're going to. Well, I told you they won the case the other day, so they can actually do what they're supposed to do. But anyway, let's keep going.
All right, the Olympics.
Number 2 had to be. It's hard to make this not the number 1, but it had to be Text Expander by Smile Software. Again, I don't know. Once you start using this thing that takes little snippets anywhere on any app inside of on OS X and turns it into fillable things, turns into instant, your signature, your last name, date fields. I use it 300 times a day or whatever. It's hard now to go to other people's computers or on other devices that don't auto-expand things because I start typing it and I'm like, oh, you're not going to auto-expand that out, are you? iPad or iPhone. Love Text Expander by Smile.
Yeah, I love that too. I just created a new Text Expander snippet the other day.
Well, I know we both have one for the new user one, which is...
That's a great one.
Yeah, that sends out the instructions.
9 steps on how to set me up as a new user in a new org.
Yeah, it is.
With a fill.
Well, that was the piece I added to it, that you put in the thing that's theirs that they fill in for you. It's great. It's literally just one of the best apps ever. And it's not cheap. So I remember, I think it's like $49.
I've been using the demo version forever. I just bought it.
Okay.
$34.99
Oh, that's not bad.
on the Apple App Store.
Yeah.
But then there's a $15 upgrade to get to the next version.
Yeah, I was just
kind of a bummer.
I was just about to tell you actually, because in the App Store version will never be upgraded because of this whole sandboxing thing in OS X. But anyway, we'll talk about that offline.
Great. Can't wait.
Number 1.
Number 1. Application I use every single day, multiple times a day, every single day
that you
on
picked.
The weekdays that I've picked every single weekday. Don't really use it on the weekends, but use it every single weekday, multiple times.
Ooh, wait, I'm almost curious.
GoToMeeting.
Oh yeah, and you did pick that.
I cannot live without my GoToMeeting.
That's true.
It is a lifesaver. I will say now with the new MacBook Pro Retina super awesome display, I've had some feedback from others that it doesn't scale so well on their machines,
right.
But I'm sure that they'll put out an update at some point. But man, GoToMeeting for screen sharing, meetings, dial-ins, VoIP, integrated, share one monitor, share the other monitor, control someone else's monitor. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't live without it.
I actually like GoToMeeting a lot. I just like a little bit more WebEx, as we talked about, just for 2 features that, well, one that the password thing drives me crazy on GoTo. But yeah, GoTo. I wish I could just take the best of GoTo and the best of WebEx and build them together. And whatever that product is, I will pay for it.
Well,
Someone come up with the best
back.
of.
I look back. We picked GoTo and WebEx on the same podcast.
Yeah, that's probably
we faced off.
Faced off. Nice.
We did. WebEx just launched a free version. WebEx
yes.
free.
Yeah, they're advertising on Sirius. Yeah. I heard them the other day.
They have 3 users, and it's only a VoIP dial-in. But other than that, from what I could gather, it was virtually the same.
Oh, that's not bad. And my pick, if I haven't mentioned this 1,000 times, I know everyone in this room not only owns this is a triple pick for my number one, because it's kind of hard to pick one of them.
I already know what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I can guess it.
But that again, if you put it into the things that I can't live without in my life, OmniFocus, the task management GTD-esque application by Omni Group that I've used I've used it before it even was OmniFocus. They used to have like some kind of weird plug-in for their Omni Outliner that I used to use that did the same thing. Literally could not live without it. It's probably the most expensive because you almost need to have the iPhone, the iPad, and the desktop version.
That's not true.
Oh, for me, that's what makes it useful, is that all the syncing, ubiquitous capture.
I really only use it on my laptop.
You never use an iPhone?
No.
Huh? I'll talk about that later. All right, that's our top 10 of all time. Let's ask
I believe it was 12.
Let's ask the studio audience. I want to get one of your picks, so you can pick some from either one of our lists. There's 99. You go first. Roger, why don't you come in here and tell us your best pick, getting close to the mic. Tell us your favorite pick of all time from either one of our lists. I know whose list is going to show up from. But anyway, whichever list you want to pick.
Yeah, it actually is from your list, so it'd be Spotify. I listen to Spotify every day.
And you actually pay for it, right?
I pay for it, yeah. $10 a month is totally worth it. I have about 1,800 songs synced down to my devices. I have playlists for focusing. I have playlists for creative work. I have playlists for running. It's all there.
Great. Spotify. $10 a month. Mr. He Shall Not Be Named, you can introduce yourself if you want to. You can still remain not named. Here, come on in for the 100th episode. Come in closer.
I think he should remain nameless.
All right, remain nameless.
Hello. I will remain nameless. Mine actually does come from Jason's, but overall, I am going to say that I use more of Justin's ones than Jason's ones, believe it or not.
I'll take that.
That's crazy.
A nod.
It's
my top 3 you use every single day.
A tip of the cap.
Okay.
Zeit. It's fantastic. It allows you basically it scours based on categories that you decide that are important news-wise, and at the end of the day or the first thing in the morning to be able to get up, see it all categorized in such a great screen display and the way I have it set up, and then the features of allowing you to quickly tweet something. I love the fact you can put it into Evernote.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those things, and then also it learns, right? So you can do the thumbs up, thumbs down, and it'll add more stuff. So that's definitely my big one right now.
Cool. Yeah, Zeit. I love Zeit.
I think I have to get in on this Zeit.
Oh no, Zeit is something everybody needs to get in on.
I
It's
need to
that
get
good.
in on this. So how do I just explain it to me real quick?
So
do I log into Twitter and
Nope.
it starts
Nope.
like feeding me
Don't
stuff?
need any of that. You just log in because it's owned by CNN.
How do I log in?
It's interesting. It's owned by CNN. You just download it and then
there's no login. It doesn't know who I am.
Nope, doesn't need to. It doesn't do any of that. Like it's not that flipbook thing.
How do I tweet?
It pulls from the iOS because you're logged into the iOS.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do I share to Facebook, or does it not do that?
It doesn't do that. Well, you could probably log into Facebook. I don't know.
And I give it some topics I'm interested
It has a bunch of topics set up, like technology, Apple, finances, whatever, and then you can create new topics, although it only things that it considers a topic. So, like, I tried doing Salesforce.com, and it said no. It put one called Salesforce, and I did one called CRM, and I do, like, Mac OS 10, and I do one called Near Jets, and it'll just takes in a lot of the same places that you have from all the others, but it makes this really great screen that you can then flip through. It's just a great reading experience. it's the best reading experience I've ever had for reading like online content. It then shows you a reader view, so it doesn't give you like the whole thing. There's really nothing. There's nothing not to like about it. I've tried so many others, thinking like, oh, I've tried Reader, I've tried Feedly, I've tried Flipbook, I've tried. I mean, Zeit is the thing that every morning I wake up in the morning. It's like morning cup of coffee and Zeit, and I'm happy.
That's where all your tweets come. What was that?
Social CRM, I actually have a category on.
Social CRM.
Yeah.
There we go.
Even go on a level.
So Zeit. Great. Well, that's it. So let's get to our 5 new picks.
Oh, man.
We'll have to roll through these since we're sort of, but it's our 100th episode.
For mine. Picking 5 at a time for me is rough. So these are going to be like kind of silly. Some of them.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So
like
all right.
Some of them are just silly. They're useful, but they're silly.
Great, go for it. Let's hear your 5th most silly, or just no. These are not in order.
I didn't rank these.
These are not in order. These are just whatever you want.
So the first one's a photo app on the iPhone called Auto Stitch.
I have that one.
I think a lot of people have it.
I use that one a lot.
I'm like, oh, I have this. This is really cool. I love taking. So it allows you to take panoramic photos, and what it does is it's kind of magical. Like I do it at Yankee games. When I'm at Yankee games, I'll just start taking. I'll start taking photos.
The audience is laughing at the magicalness.
Really like that. I'm like Steve Jobs over here. It's magical. You start taking pictures, and what you try and do is you try and get like a third of the previous frame in the next picture, and try and take like a 180 degree, or even more, like a 270 degree photo. Or photos. So you end up taking like 8, 10, 12 photos in this auto stitch, and then it stitches them back together. It's really cool. And it creates this very awesome panoramic photo where I've done it mostly at sporting events because you're in this big like bowl or stadium, and they come out great.
Yep.
So I love it.
Oh, it's just great. So how much is it?
It's like $1.99.
I think it's $1.99.
Yep. I didn't write the prices down of any of these things. A lot of them are free. Actually, that's the only one that costs anything. The rest of them are free.
I have a few that are going to cost.
I picked a costly one the other day.
Which one?
Oh, man. I don't remember. It was like $70.
That was
the Tiki microphone.
Oh, the Tiki microphone.
Which doesn't work. I sent it back, though, to their credit.
All right, well, that's good.
I'll let you guys know.
So, this one's, for my picks, I thought I'm just going to spread it around to different, I'm going to do hardware, I'm going to do games, because I figured, like, I can just do a whole bunch.
That's what I did. Mine are just silly.
Okay. Well, this one is sort of silly, but kind of fun. This one's, again, if you listen to anything I've done on this podcast, I'm kind of into GTD, getting things done, the productivity thing.
Geek.
Yeah, GTD Geek, definitely. So this one's for you GTD geeks out there. There's something called the GTDQ, which is a website, GTDIQ, I guess it's GTDIQ.com, and it's basically a little quiz. You go in, and it says, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? Asks you like 10 questions. You click a button, and then it kind of says, oh, you're in this, because if you get into GTD, there's like quadrants of like, where are you feeling good or not?
6 Sigma black belt?
It's like 5 Sigma. It's only 5.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like it'll just tell you where, like, are you feeling like out of control? It kind of gives you a little hint of where you should be putting some of your time to help you out. GTDIQ.com. So free website. You're obviously looking at it now.
I'm taking the test.
Oh, okay. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. Take it online. All right.
This is what you do. You give me these things, and I'm going to take this as we go along.
All right. Well, you have a pick to pick. So right now,
I do. All right. So as everybody knows, we at that large company who we also don't name, we work on search.
Ah, yes.
And one of our favorite things to do while we were working on the intranet search was to rip off Google ideas. We had this technology, it was called Fast Search, which Microsoft then bought. But it was a programmable, customizable search as a service kind of thing.
Yep.
And you were able to kind of do whatever you wanted with it. You just had to have creative ideas, and who was more creative than Google at search? So we would copy a lot of the things that they did. And one of the things Google did really great was these one boxes, or what they called the one box. So if you have some time or fun, I'm sure you've noticed, you can go to Google and type in, weather and your zip code, and it'll bring back, instead of a link to go to weather.com, it'll actually bring you back the weather, which is pretty neat. So we were playing around with these at that large company, and Google put out a new one yesterday that I thought was really cool.
Open new tab.
Yeah, so just type in like 12 times 12, 12 asterisk 12.
I don't think that's new.
It's not, but the UI of it is.
Oh.
So not only do you get the answer, but you get a calculator.
The studio audience just came over to my computer.
You get a calculator, and it's a pretty high-end calculator.
And it's a working calculator.
Yeah, it's a working calculator that you can then continue to do your calculations, and you can get the cosine of things and the tangent and bring you back to math in junior high school. Pretty cool. I love Google's one boxes.
That is very good. I like that. I was about to say 12 times 12. I know they've done it forever. I use Spotlight, as
do I.
Yeah, if you Mac
this is pretty cool.
Yeah, if you use Spotlight, it does it in Spotlight too. It's great. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Good pick.
Oh, I got a thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. My next one is a game. It's a game I've actually owned for a long time. One of the first iPhone games I had, but they just went universal, and they just went like Retina for the iPad. And it is called Car Stunts. And it's a racing game, but sort of that you don't race against other people, you race against time or whatever. And it's sort of this futuristic thing. It's kind of very like geometric game, but you control a car. It looks like a racing car, but it has like a big jet on the back of it. And you go through all these sort of weird jumps, and you have to get... Anyway, it is fantastic to look at, and it's really just fun to play. And it's $1.99, and like I said, if it's $1.99, I'm right in. And Universal, it is a fun game. It was fun 2 years ago when it first came out. They just released the iPad universalness of it. It is more fun now on the iPad. It's actually better to play on the iPad. It's called Car Stunts. I just had to throw a game in there because I've been playing lots of games recently, and this one. It's just very fun to play and a good price, $1.99. So Car Stunts it's a Universal app.
I just finished the GTD-Q.
Yes, and
I'm in the quadrant called Captain and Commander / Autocrat.
Oh, that's good. That's a good.
Yeah, it says it's good.
That's good. That definitely means you lied in a lot of that.
Probably.
Yeah, all right.
My perspective score was a 4, and my control score was a 3, which means that I've scored in the Captain and Commander Autocrat quadrant. So it indicates that I'm on my game.
There you go.
I'm on my game.
So what's your third pick, Game Meister?
I'm on my game. All right, so...
You're getting quizzical looks from the audience.
Yeah, well, I don't care about them so much. They are still nameless in my mind. So this is one I think is going to get purchased. So it's a little prediction in there.
By me?
Not you.
Oh.
Purchased, this technology is going to be purchased by somebody in the future.
I was about to say, would it be really bad if my number one pick was Arkus?
So, compliance for chatter.
Yeah.
Social Cam.
Okay.
Have you seen or heard of Social Cam?
No.
So, you'll notice that much like Instagram a few years back, you'd start seeing things shared on Facebook, like it'd be these photos, and they'd be like Instagram photos. All of a sudden, there's been these social cam videos shared on Facebook, and I'd see like, what is this? What's
the young one
here?
is nodding his head, so it must be cool.
It must be cool because he's nodding his head,
and the older one's not nodding his head.
Like, the ability to on a mobile device take a video and post it, and it's its own encapsulated thing, much like Instagram, but it also connects to other social networks like Facebook. So, you take your video, you post it, you get comments, etc.
Oh, I know what that is. Is that called YouTube?
Kind of, but it's its own thing. This is like the thing. There's these little niche. I know YouTube is technically
taking
niche, right?
It's just a video. Taking a video and
but
posting
Instagram,
it.
Right? You take a picture, you post it. You take a picture, you post it. People follow you. People comment on it,
right.
etc. That's what this is, but for videos. And I feel like it's going to be a target at some point.
So is this something you use or something you
Something I've downloaded, played with, because I saw some buzz about it, logged in, followed some people just to get the
So you're basically following a feed of people's videos.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kind of interesting.
It's the same, to me, as all these other things like Instagram that have been sucked up.
Yeah, and then...
And because they connect, it's one of those deals.
It's like draw something. We're all doing draw something. All right.
Nobody's doing draw something anymore.
So I'm getting more expensive now. I think this is my highest pick of the week, and I'm going hardware. Something I actually bought a while ago. We threw it out there in one of our episodes. I think we were in another recording studio. We threw it out there as one of these things like, oh, what are you going to go pick that now? And so I went, oh yeah, I am. So we've talked about the Apple TV a lot, which is a little small device that allows you to stream stuff to your, like movies and videos and whatever, to this little device that connects up to your TV. But recently, after I think there was something I wanted to watch that I couldn't do on the Apple TV because they don't allow other applications, I went and I purchased the Roku. And I have become a huge Roku user.
I was so close to buying one yesterday. I was in Best Buy buying something else, and I saw the Roku box there, and I just didn't buy it there at that given moment.
But you will buy one. Well, you've already said you were going to buy one. Yeah,
I just didn't feel like buying it at that moment.
So it's basically, it's the other Apple TV. It's the thing, so everything the Apple TV does great. It's got those great movies, you can rent them, it's all controlled by Apple, it's got this great interface, it's just fabulous. But you can't put anything else onto it, right? It does Netflix, but you can't do other stuff. Roku is like the other world. It's, everything's open. You can do Amazon, you can do Hulu, you can do HBO Go.
There it is. That's why I want it.
And it is unbelievable just for HBO Go because it's HBO Go on your TV in
You're
HD.
rewatching Deadwood right now.
And I'm rewatching an entire thing. We have watched more HBO Go in probably the last couple months. Not much you can say on this podcast about.
I didn't go to the next word.
Yeah.
He says 2 words there.
Anyway, I bought the Roku 2 XS. This is where this is like Apple names thing. It's the Apple TV. Roku names thing. It's the Roku 2 XS 1080p.
That was one of the main reasons why I didn't buy it yesterday, because I was sitting there and there were 2 of them.
You didn't know which one to buy.
No, one was $79.99 and one was $99.99, and I couldn't really figure out why they were all that different, except one had an Ethernet cord and the other didn't.
Yeah, so I got the one with the Ethernet because I connected up to my Ethernet because I want to watch things without stuttering. Yeah. Anyway, great. There's so many apps you can throw onto it. I only literally live in... If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get tons of the Amazon Prime content for free. HBO Go is awesome. They have Netflix as well. They have games, but it's really just a great streaming, and it's just everything else you don't get on Apple TV. So,
right.
And it sits, what's beautiful is it's the exact same size, so it sits right on top. So the 2 little hockey pucks, 2 little black hockey pucks sitting on top of each other. You just need a lot of HDMI ports, that's all.
Yeah, I was in the elevator today, and we have the Captivate network in our elevators, and there was a news item about HBO not coming to an agreement with Netflix. And it kind of bothers me. Like, I want HBO content to be on Netflix. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'll sit there on my iPad and watch HBO Go, and when I get the Roku, I'll have HBO Go, and no big deal. But it also made me think, well, maybe they're going to put HBO Go on the Apple TV.
Oh.
Because that would be the reason to just put your content in Netflix so that you're on some of these set-top boxes, and they're on the Roku, so why are they not on the Apple TV?
HBO Go is... I was like, oh, it's free on top of HBO, or HBO...
I changed your opinion on that.
Now to me, it's like Hulu Plus. Like, you pay Hulu Plus so you can get the content that's in Hulu. You pay for... Netflix, you can get the content that's in Netflix. You pay for HBO, the service, so you can get the content that's in HBO Go.
Yeah, the way I think about it is I'm paying for HBO Go, and as a nice courtesy, I just happen to have HBO on my TV. I really could care less about HBO. I just want HBO Go.
I wish they would just drop HBO Go down to $7.99 and make it, you only needed that, and then you don't get the cable channel thing. They could just take it away from the cable channel, they could make the money directly. Boom. Anyway, what's your number 2?
Tiny Post.
Okay, what's that?
It's a thing that allows you to post tiny things. No, you ever see those videos on the internet, that thing called the internet, and they have the white, bold... What is going on in the studio? What's happening?
There's some newbies who left their phones on.
All
right, keep going.
So you see those videos... Go on. You ever see the pictures on the internet, the memes that have like the white lettering on the pictures? Like I
love internet memes. Yes.
Like they have
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, like
Yes.
but
Aliens?
aliens.
Yeah.
They're pictures with like
Both of them.
that white bold word on it.
Cheeseburger Network is
Yeah.
like the place.
Well, Tiny Post gives you a super simple way to create your own.
Okay.
So you take a picture and you're like, ooh, that'd be a good meme. I want to write something on that and like have it look like that style.
Right.
Tiny Post it up.
Is it an app?
It's an app and a service.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can follow people, follow things in it, and also post to like Facebook and Twitter and everything. These are like the little things that are popping up that Facebook's gonna swallow at some point.
All right. Not bad.
Tiny Post.
Tiny Post. Cost? Free.
Can't remember.
It's a service.
Bought it on the iPhone. Might have been free. I think it was free. The rest of my apps were free.
It'll be in the show notes.
I'm in the save you some money game. You're in the let me give you an $80 set top box.
Let me give you something for free.
Thank you.
That I've been testing. So I found an app on the App Exchange and I decided to test it in a test org
What?
as opposed to just throwing it in
You're
our
not
org.
just picking it?
Nope. I actually tested it and I think I like it. It's kind of, I didn't get to.
Is it free?
It's free and it's something you need to use and then to live with. But I think for us,
Are you gonna put this in our org one day? And I'm gonna show up. There's gonna be a chatter post. It's like I put this in our org. #org work.
maybe it's called Shortcut Ninja. And the reason it
Well, I
came
like the
about,
name of it.
yeah, the reason this came about is because the other day, as we were doing a lot of chatter work, and we've talked about chatter, and we use chatter, I was like, I wish there was a command on my keyboard to show and hide the chatter. Because sometimes you jump to a page and it doesn't, you were showing it on a report, you jump to another page and it's still showing it there. So I'm like, oh, I wish there was something I could hit a key command that would then show and hide chatter. You can make it go up and down. I search, I found the idea exchange, and then I found the link to here's an app that does it. It's free. It's called Shortcut Ninja, and it does shortcuts for tons of things in Salesforce. You install it in, it puts a little sidebar on it that includes a lot of JavaScript that does the work.
Oh yeah.
But then it has a list of all the shortcuts that whatever page you're on, if you're on a contact, there's a shortcut that says Control N and it'll do a new call, or Control E or whatever and it'll do a new event. Or on the home page, it's Control whatever and it does new contact or new lead or whatever. There's a whole bunch of set of built-in, mapped to your keyboard through the browser, basically control keys inside of Salesforce.
And it knows you're on a Mac versus a PC.
It worked great. Worked great on a Mac. So I didn't try it on a PC. Anyway, Shortcut Ninja, it's free. It's very cool. I haven't run it through its paces of like trying it in our org. I wanted to try it in someone else's or not
does
someone
it
else.
do the hide show chatter?
Works great.
It does that.
It does that. It does exactly what I wanted it to do. So, Shortcut Ninja. Oh, you look a little upset, like I outpicked you or something. What's up?
No, I was making a face because I heard you open your Diet Coke bottle.
Oh, okay.
And it sounded a little weird. And it was coming from, like, in between your legs area. So it was just a weird sound.
This podcast just took a turn for the worse.
Yeah, it really did.
All right.
I didn't know it was this kind of party.
All right.
Well, this is a party. It's the 100th episode.
So
People have been looking forward to this for 99 episodes.
that's true. For 99, they didn't even know they were looking forward to it 2 years ago, but now they are. Shortcut Ninja, free on the App Exchange.
Okay.
Do it.
All right.
It's like a showdown.
So I'm next.
Your
I'm always first.
Your first pick.
I'm always first.
You want it
And
for the
in this
next
case-
100 episodes? You want me to be first?
Well, in this case, I think you were like, I'll have him go first because then my pick will be the best one, and then it'll be like top.
And it proved that way almost every week.
I don't know. I'll put GoToMeeting up against your whatever you picked there, OmniFocus.
Let me list the things that I didn't put on
No,
my top 10
No one
picks.
asked you to do that. You're extending this
Instacast.
beyond.
Netflix,
How did Instacast not make
Zeit,
its way onto this
Jambox,
list?
Hipmunks, Parallels. These are all my picks
I
that
don't
didn't
even
make
know-
my top
I
5.
don't even know what some of those are. Hipmunks?
Hipmunk, greatest thing ever?
It's fantastic.
What is it?
Fan-tiggity-tastic.
What is it?
That's one of my
Do I
picks.
have to go back?
Yeah, Parallels. I mean,
That's a
something
good one.
something we
Parallels
use
is a good one.
use all the time.
I take
All
my
right.
statement back that I like Justin's one.
Evernote. Evernote was one of my picks.
I'm staring
Grid
at the partner who shower me.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It, which I've now fallen in love with Grid It. But anyway, go
Alright,
on. What's
Grid
your
It.
number one pick?
All right, Gritty.
Or your fifth pick?
My last pick.
Your last pick.
So, I don't know if you're aware, but the Olympics are starting in 2 days.
Oh, you told me you were going to pick this.
I did.
All right.
I let the cat out of the bag.
All
So the Olympics are
Can I-
starting
Can I
in
pick
2
the other?
days.
Can I
You
pick the other one?
Sure. So NBC has put 2 apps out there for the iOS. I'm picking the one that allows you to stream the live content. So it's called NBC Olympics Live Extra.
Excellent.
So this is kind of the golden age right now for being able to consume content and live feeds and social and real time. And the Olympics should this year, they should never have been better, like coverage wise. Like you should never, this year in particular, and I guess it's going to be that way moving forward, because I look back to like 4 years ago, 8 years ago, and it's like, oh man, NBC owns all these cable networks now, and I can like flip between 4 channels and watch the Olympics.
Side conversation.
Sure.
Do you remember, and this might be whatever, but do you remember, and I'll ask the studio audience, do you remember when they put out that like package where there's like the different, they had like the gold package or whatever, and they had the different channels, they actually put out different channels to watch it? Do you remember that many years ago? Yeah, NBC tried this once where they put out, like, there was like a whole package of things, and you got, for the Olympics, they had like 5 different channels simultaneously.
Did you have to buy those?
Yeah, it was a pack. It was
Well,
like
here's the
$150.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was $150, and now you get it for free.
Yeah.
In your lap, on your iPad, in bed, wherever. So if you're
So wait, I get it for free in my lap, in my bed?
Yes, I now understand how that sounds.
Should this podcast should be explicit, shouldn't
I
it?
think maybe.
All right.
I'm getting now that didn't sound right. But,
Do you realize that that all of these picks you pick are you use in your bed with your iPad?
Well, that's where I use my iPad. I told you I've adopted the iPad because I
In your
use
bed.
it in bed. It sits on the nightstand. That's where it stays. When I get in bed, I
Or
use
in
it.
your lap.
When I wake up, I use it, and
All
that's
right.
when I use it.
Best
So
podcast
anyway,
ever.
if you're into ping pong, if
in bed.
you're into like some of those like shot put or like some of the more rare
In bed?
sports in bed.
All right, go
This is
ahead.
like a fortune cookie.
It is.
This is the app for you. NBC Olympics Live Extra. It's going to stream all the live content that's available at that very moment. It already has some great content on it. I've already gone in and watched like all the USA basketball content, the swimmers like Michael Phelps content, the Walsh and what's her face, the volleyball players.
Yep.
Like they have some great content that you can watch now, so that you don't have to watch those like human interest pieces during the Olympics. During the Olympics, you can just watch the athletics. So I plan on watching the Olympics on this app.
I saw it the other day. There's 2 apps, so be careful or download them both.
Yeah,
but
so
there's
get them both, but the one I'm picking is the live streaming one, NBC Olympics Live Extra.
Extra, which has the live content. I'm excited for this because I'm not really excited for the Olympics, but I kind of feel like that'll be the second TV. I'll just put it sort of, as I'm watching something else, I'll put the Olympics on my iPad over there and be like, oh, look, someone won something. So I'm kind of like that.
It just makes the Olympics so much better because there's so many things that are happening at any given time.
And this
during
will allow
the
you to go
Olympics.
to anyone.
You just pop over to, like I said, you want to watch the ping pong, go watch the ping pong.
Okay, so you will be able to control that.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's
You
pretty
can't
cool.
tell now because there's nothing live going on.
Yeah.
But that's how it's been advertised.
Here's the thing. This is NBC's ability to break through and make something incredible, something that I'd love to see the NFL take on in the future, like the ability to basically have everything on your iPad, all the games type of thing, or it's going to be an utter fail.
Well, ESPN does it really well.
Yeah, but ESPN's been doing it longer, and I think ESPN doesn't have the peaks. Like, this is going to be, when that one Olympic thing is going on, the dressage or whatever it is, ping pong maybe, it's going to be like this peak where everybody's going to go.
It's the 100-meter, dash
Relay.
finals.
Right.
It's the Michael Phelps going for his world record for number of medals or whatever
Yep.
it's going to be. Or usually like the gymnastics are very popular. So it's going to spike. Hopefully they can handle it. I'm hoping that the bandwidth in my apartment can handle it. Because sometimes it gets a little spotty on the iPad. This is where now I wish I had the new iPad because it's got a little more horsepower for that live streaming stuff. So when the next new iPad comes out, I'll be on that bandwagon.
Funny, my last pick is...
The new iPad?
No. It's funny, we've never picked any Apple hardware.
Well, you've picked FaceTime.
That was the worst pick ever. I picked Facebook. That must have been
You
like
picked like Twitter. You were like, oh man,
Twitter for
I'm gonna
iOS.
pick Twitter.
Oh, Twitter for iOS. That wasn't bad.
Twitter.
We use it. All right, my last pick. I'm actually going to give credit to the youngest in the audience here for the last pick.
I'm picking Google.
You wait, didn't you just pick Google search?
Well, I picked a specific use case around Google.
You
A
picked
very
you
impressive
picked 12.
thing.
You picked the calculator in
12
Google.
times 12.
12 times 12. All right, let me pick my last pick. Something that that Roger here showed me the other day is one of those things that you demo it for anybody who has a big screen, basically, who has has an Apple big screen.
I saw this thing.
Yeah.
A little too rich for my blood.
And the ability, when I say the price, it's not going to make you look good. But
But for what it is, it's
when you're on your computer and you have a big screen, which we have a couple big screens around the office, and I have one at home, and you have lots of monitors and windows and things going on, you want to be able to line them up. Like I want to put an Excel spreadsheet next to a Salesforce window, or I want to put two Chrome windows next to each other. In the Apple world,
Windows 7 users out there will be like, I have that.
yes, Windows 7, that's the thing. In Windows 7, you can just like kind of fling it to the side and it does it. And you can fling it to the other side and it does it, and matches them up perfectly. We don't have that in the Apple world. We have the ability to expand all, or pull, or, we just don't have it. So anyway, this app called Moom, and I didn't say that wrong, but Moom, M-O-O-M.
It's not like move, but
Go ahead.
I finally figured it out. It's Move and Zoom. Moom. I'm serious.
That's
the naming.
That's horrible. But the app is good. Bad naming, but it allows you. It basically takes a little. I'm going to try to do it so it takes over the little green button, and when you hover over it, it then gives you these options where you can then throw things to the left, or you can then throw things to the right, and then it'll line them up. So if you want to look at Excel on one side and a thing on the other, it's great for us Salesforce people who literally always are comparing sort of Salesforce to something else, or two Salesforces, or configuration on one side to it works. And once you've installed it, even though it is $10, you use it constantly. You just use it constantly. You just find you're just always using it. So anyway, great pick. I'm going to steal it from Roger. Moom, $9.99. Little on the expensive side, but it's still so worth it. It's something you use just all the time. So that is it for the 100th episode of CloudFocus Weekly. I don't know if we're going to continue to end them with the enjoy those cloudy days.
I'm going to need a few weeks before we pick again.
You're out of picks?
Out of picks.
Well, just go sit in bed and play on the iPad
on my lap.
and put something on your lap, and you'll come up with a few things. Like, oh, look, there's another app I use on my lap.
If anyone ever wants to send me picks to pick, I've offered this before. You can just tweet me and I'll pick it.
So, a couple things. We're going to put up the new chatter group in the Dreamforce portal, so
Yes,
look
we
for
are.
that. We changed the logo, so let us know. Let us know how the new mics sound, if they sound well or not. And we will be back next week with actual news that we didn't cover any this week. There's the blog post that Justin posted this week about how we do the podcast. So it has like all the stuff we have, all the equipment we have.
Pretty cool.
It's kind of fun. So it's a backstage look.
If I say so myself.
And we're doing something special. We haven't done it yet, so I don't really want to announce it. Special. I don't want to announce it yet. But we're doing something special for Dreamforce. For all you listeners, we're going to do a couple of things. I think we're going to do a contest.
We always do something special.
Yeah, and we're going to do some sort of giveaway fun thing for you podcast listeners. So keep in tune for that as we come up. But until next week, for the 100th time, it's amazing. 2 years and 100 episodes. That's pretty impressive. Cheers, man. I'm giving you a little fist bump right over here.
Fist bump.
Fist bump right there.
I wish they could hear that fist bump.
That just happened. We'll see you next week, and enjoy those cloudy days.